Welcome to Roofing Road Trips with Heidi. Explore the roofing industry through the eyes of a long-term professional within the trade. Listen for insights, interviews, and exciting news in the roofing industry today.
Hello and welcome to another Roofing Road Trips from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth and we're talking sales. I love sales. I love talking about in-home sales. And so we are with the experts in home sale presentations, and that's Engage. And we have Mr. Cody Carnes here to help talk about technology, best practices for roofing sales, and everything that goes around that great in-home presentation. Cody, welcome to the show.
Hey, Heidi, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, you know what? I love this topic. This is going to be a great conversation, and your software and what you all do is really impressive. So before we start talking about that, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Engage?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Cody Carnes. I've been with Engage now for about a year and a half. Actually have been in the home improvement space as a whole, whether selling in the home or on the software side for about 7 years now. I actually spent some time selling in the home for Renewal by Anderson here in Georgia, and I've also worked for some other large software companies. So really just taking my experience from the past, using that as Engaged to help companies in the home improvement space really improve their sales process as a whole, and just help them win more business. In terms of Engage, really simple. We are the leading presentation tool for the home improvement industry, and we're really helping customers replace old, stagnant, outdated forms of presentations like PowerPoint, Keynote, brochures with something that's a lot more interactive, visually appealing for the homeowner that allows the rep to really just close more business, increase their close rates.
Yeah, so you work, day in and day out with roofing sales professionals to really help them up their game with the right presentation, the right technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, really, it's all about that in-home experience, really making themselves stand out, look different from the competition, other companies that might be coming in trying to sell those customers as well.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I have to tell you, Cody, I actually made some pitch books back in the day. So the pitch books that would go in and they'd flip over. Yeah, I was in marketing and I was making those for the salespeople. So your program is so much better, a million times better. I want to talk just a little bit too about trends in sales because obviously 30 years ago we were doing pitch books, but now there's a lot of things that the salespeople are really helping to improve, to close more deals, to take care of the customers. It's about closing, but it's also about taking care of that customer.
hmm
So what are some of the trends in sales that you're seeing right now, and what are your suggestions for navigating these changing trends?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest commonalities I hear a lot has been around how when COVID was around, it was easy to sell. Sales reps could walk into a home, they would have to get in and out within 20 minutes. Sometimes they wouldn't even be let in a home, and people were legit just buying everything because they were home all the time. And what's happened is they've gotten away from those processes and those things that would work for them in the home. And now that it's becoming more difficult to show up and actually close that business with the economy, with everything that's going on today, it's really important to have a good tech stack, and that's not only using something like Engage for that sales process, but also using other tools out there as well to help navigate that conversation in the home and really ensure that you're doing everything you can to win that business.
Yeah, that's so true. Knowing your technologies, building a stack that works for your company, um, not just for the salesperson, not just for the customer, but for the company too, because you want all of this and for the manufacturers. There's just Engage kind of brings all of that together. So when we're talking about best practices in home with representatives using technology, what are some of your suggestions for best practices?
I would say, first of all, especially if you're a company like a lot of companies out there nowadays that has a lot of tools in the tool belt with their tech stack, is really being comfortable with using those tools in the home. You don't really want to show up in front of a homeowner and you might be a newer rep and not being comfortable navigating something like Hover or whatever it may be that you might be using for your company, because then it's not gonna help you like it's supposed to, and it really might hurt you in that sales situation in the home. So it would my best advice would just be being very comfortable with all the tools that you have access to when meeting with those homeowners.
Yeah. What do you say to really good salesmen, men and women? Practice, practice, practice.
Absolutely.
Right? Practice with that technology before you go sit in front of somebody. So, what are you seeing? So we're talking about obviously the presentation. One of the things that I love about Engage is the fact that it's constantly being updated, and it's, with the newest shingles, availabilities during the material shortage, pricing, all of those kind of things. By having that most current information at your fingertips, what have you seen the impact of the Engage technology being on closing rates?
Yeah, it's kind of very crazy to think about. And little side story, I just came back from a conference, top rep over in San Antonio, right outside of San Antonio, New Braunfels, and we're able to see a lot of customers when we go and visit those conferences in person. And I think there's this one company in particular that was there that three or four of their roofing sales reps literally walked up to me and like shook my hand and was like, "I love your software so much. It's allowed me to be in the home. And once I'm done with a presentation, the homeowner's like begging me to like sign my contract and move forward." So we're on average by allowing them to just create that more visually appealing presentation in the home while that customer be able to navigate more flexible. We're seeing our customers see anywhere from a 3 to 10% lift in their close rates, and that's not only very impactful for the business, it's also very impactful for that sales rep who's obviously trying to support their family and put food on the table as well.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the salesperson. They're going into the home. What does that look like? What's that journey on Engage in that presentation? I know everybody can build their own presentations, but what's kind of like best practices of what the salesperson will go through using Engage with that homeowner?
Yeah, so really, obviously, every company is their process is going to be a little bit different, but typically, or we're actually able to give analytics on the back end to a sales manager, to an owner of a company, um, so that those people can have full visibility into something like that. So if I'm a sales manager at a company and my process is, knock on the door, show up, maybe I'm going to go do an inspection and build out the job, and then I'm going to sit down at the kitchen table and I'm going to walk through my company story. I'm going to show you work that we've done, maybe in your neighborhood, videos of what the installation is going to look like, customer testimonials, etc. And as a sales manager or owner, I'm able to dive into those with the analytics that Engage gives you on the back end to actually ensure that my rep is following that process. If I have a top performer, what is he doing that my bottom performers aren't doing? If I have someone that's struggling really bad,
Yeah.
what have they been skipping over? Or what have they not been showing? So that you're really getting the most out of this tool that you're investing in.
I love that. I love the fact that you can follow, that the sales manager can follow the presentation. I mean, through the analytics, because I
Hmm.
mean, I've heard crazy stories where some salespeople won't even talk about financing or won't talk about, the new colors. And I know the manufacturers are very much about getting their product information and their new colors and everything in there. So being able to, I would love you to just go expand a little bit more on how what you've seen when people have used the analytics and have really been able to say, okay, this top performer did this. What were they doing that was different from the guys who weren't, or in gals who weren't doing so well?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things is the navigation of the conversation. So a lot of times I would say you build out this script, and a lot of sales reps obviously want to stick to that script and go in that flow the whole time. But a lot of times, every homeowner you talk to is different. So after you kind of ask those questions to figure out why am I here, what's wrong, what are the issues, what's really important to you, maybe I get them to tell me three or four reasons why they've had bad experiences in the past from other companies, et cetera, whatever it may be. And a lot of times, looking at those analytics, you'll see that those top performers are really bouncing all around in the presentation. They're not swiping that homeowner to get to death and boring them just going through their sales pitch that they've done a million times. but they're going from company story to install that really might have been 30 minutes away from that point in the presentation because that's what was important to that customer. So really using the navigation flexibility within Engage to cater that conversation to that homeowner that they're actually sitting in front of.
Yeah, and that's what you and I were talking about earlier. It's that journey, right? For the homeowner or for the consumer, you want to be able to ask your questions, be listened to, and be able to get the information that is most important to you. And I love that what you're talking about, the navigation of being able to, okay, these guys really care about underlayment. Probably not, but they really care about
Yeah.
underlayment. Let's go down that road and let's go talk about that. So talk a little bit about how Engage integrates with other sales tools. There's a lot of sales technology out there. How are teams using it with other technology?
Yeah, I would say the first one that really stands out to me is we've created a very seamless experience with all the price quoting tools in the space. So that, again, once the rep shows up, they're able to go ahead and build that job out in something like a Leap, a Vendo, a one click contract, or a Sumo quote. And then once they build that out and it's time for them to go sit down and actually build the value to close that sale, they're able to just tap a button and launch Engage from that tool and then go through their sales presentation. And then as soon as they're done, they're able to just tap the back button and then go right back in and close that job. So it creates that nice seamless experience. That's one of the big ones. Obviously, there's tons of technology in the space. We've got integrations with new tools like Rilla. We've got integrations with tools like Company Cam, so that you can take photos of work that you've done and be able to easily or take photos of actually inspection work or even work that you've done and be able to easily lay that into your presentation to show in the home as well. So yeah, our focus is to really create that seamless experience not only in Engage but also out of Engage with other tools as well.
So if I'm a salesperson, I'm going to on the house and I get up on the roof, I do inspection, I take some pictures. What you're saying is those pictures now will automatically be able to go into my presentation so that I can show those to the homeowner?
It's not going to automatically go in for you, but that content can live on a sidebar to where then it's very easily transferable right into Engage.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So companies like you said, Company Cam. So you guys are so smart because you're bringing all of the best practices, the best of breed, I think is what they call it a lot, and bring it together to really create this sales presentation that fits the homeowner. Um, that is so
Yeah,
cool. So
exactly.
you go to a lot of conferences and you said you just got back from one. I see you guys all the time at all the roofing shows, but you are going to be going to the Transform conference in Texas, September 13th through the 15th. Tell us a little bit about
Mhm.
that and what's the hands-on opportunity like at those shows?
Yeah, so I'll actually personally be there. Looking forward to it. It'll be my first sales transformation group event. Yeah, so what we do is we set up at a booth. We have our iPads there. We'll be standing there at the booth. So even our customers can come by, talk to us if they need help with stuff, but we're really there for those people who might not know about us yet. For them to come by with their sales team, could be a sales manager, owner, whoever you are. We like everyone to come by and we're able to just show you exactly how Engage works, figure out exactly what you're doing. So, what products are you selling? Are you linked up with any manufacturers we have? So, really show you as much content as we possibly can so you can really start understanding how you could fit Engage into your business as well.
I know Sales Transformation Group, they do great sales training for everyone, but they really focus in on commercial and service. So, throughout this whole podcast, you and I have been kind of talking about homeowners because this just seems to make sense to have this great in-home presentation. But it's just as powerful, obviously, in
Mhm.
the office or with property management or building owners. Talk to us a little bit about what you're hearing from building owners and property management folks about this kind of presentation style.
Yeah, I would say a lot of times they're having meetings, maybe trying to convince a larger group of people rather than just a one-on-one interaction to move forward with them rather
Okay.
than someone else. And they're trying to take that additional step, that extra step versus just, hey, this is how much we're going to cost. Hopefully I'm in the middle and they pick me instead of picking the other two or three guys. So it allows them to really create, again, a more professional presentation to actually showcase, hey, how do you differ from the other companies out there that we might be talking to? What are you going to do differently? What sets you apart, etc. So, and again, it's really going to wow them in that one to many setting versus just that one to one setting as well.
A lot of commercial relationships are ongoing, negotiated work year after year. They're doing their service and everything like that. Talk to me a little bit about contractors who are possibly using the Engage for that yearly presentation. It's not always just for sales, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can also send content out using Engage. So it doesn't always have to be, oh, we're on Zoom or I'm in your home face to face, whatever it may be. But you can also take the links to presentations and share them to people via a web browser. And in that web browser, so let's say you sent me one, once I opened up, it's going to look like I'm in the Engage app. However, it's just going to be in a web browser because that person doesn't have access to Engage. So maybe it's something where I have content constantly being sent out to them on a monthly, 3 months,
Yeah.
6 month cadence, something like that. And then what's great about that is I'm also getting analytics on when I'm sending content out, just like I'm getting analytics on how my team is using it. So that content I'm sending out, is it being opened and where is the time being spent? So then it obviously lets me go back and say, okay, it's getting open, but then more times than not, once they get to the fourth page, they're stopping or they're spending a lot of time here. So then it allows you to even refine and optimize that content that you're sending out to people as well.
The communications.
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much sense. I mean, I can even see it for service departments, for obviously the overall re-roofs. But think about solar. If you're trying to get into solar, you put a couple solar slides in there. You can see how long they stop and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
now all of a sudden, oh, we need to talk to them about solar next time. I mean, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. That's why I work here.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay, so how do contractors get started if they want to try out Engage or actually just start? And tell us a little bit about, I know when it comes to presentations, there is a fear factor of how am I going to do this? I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a writer. So how does a contractor get started with Engage and how do you help them?
Yeah, so we take a very consultative kind of white glove partnership approach. We understand also that some of these contractors that we're dealing with are running their business, they're checking on jobs in the field, they might be doing some sales themselves. So we really want to make it as easy as possible for them to get up and running very efficiently. So first of all, what we've done is we've created a lot of templates. So we have a ton of content that lives in our marketplace so that once they sign up, they could take any content that they already like. And all they have to do is drop in their photos, their videos, their branding, their coloring, etc. And they can be up and running very efficiently. But then our team is also going to help them. So our team's going to meet with them over the course of the first 30 to 45 days, really make sure that they're comfortable navigating the tool, but also they're going to meet with our internal design team as well. And that team is going to be able to give them tips and tricks that we've seen other companies do because we've been in this industry now for about 5 or 6 years, worked with thousands of other companies doing the same things. So we're really able to help them get up and running. And then we also have an option to where if they just can't do it on their own, they can also pay us a one-time fee, give us all the information, and we can actually build it all out for them without them even lifting a finger.
And what if they want to change it? What happens, down the road if they want to kind of maybe spruce it up or do something totally different? Is that an ongoing, obviously, relationship and service that you provide?
Yeah, so first of all, they're going to be trained up well enough to where most of the time they're going to be able to do it on their own. However, if for some reason they need help, they do have an account manager, so we do have an ongoing relationship with them as long as they're a customer of ours, and that they can reach out to that person, set up a time so that their dedicated account manager can hop on a Zoom call with them and help them make any changes or updates that they might need to make.
Excellent. Excellent. And on the integrations, is that also something where contractors can look to you to help kind of figure those out?
Yeah, as a startup, we're pretty flexible in helping
Hmm.
companies. So yeah, that's always an area of opportunity where we're there to listen and hear maybe where new integrations need to be made, but also where maybe they already have something and they just need us to help kind of flip the switch and turn it on for
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Or even say, just push this button.
them. Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's it. Well, great. It's so awesome. So for them to get a hold of you, what's your website? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go to engage.io. You can see case studies, you can look at even sample presentation stuff that we've done on there. And then if you want to book a demo, there's a book a demo page where you could meet with an account executive, find out more information, and see if it makes sense for you to sign up.
I love it. You can also get all that information on Roofer's Coffee Shop in the directory, the Engage directory. Plus, we have some great podcasts, other podcasts along with this one, lots of great information to help you do that research so you can make this decision to get involved and get engaged. I had to say that. This has been great, Cody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. I hope this helps. It always does. This is the kind of technology that can transform your business. Also, if you're looking to meet up in person, Cody and team will be at the Transform Conference in Texas, September 13th through the 15th. So check it out. You can find all this information on the Engage directory, along with, like I said, all kinds of different podcasts, videos, and information. Please check out all of our podcasts because there's such great information out there. You can find it under the RLW navigation on Roofing Road Trips or on your favorite podcast channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification so you don't miss a single episode. We'll be seeing you next time on Roofing Road Trips.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a review. Thanks for listening. This has been Roofing Road Trips with Heidi from therooferscoffeeshop.com.